We have 7 drivers, 8 trucks, including this one, and that's pretty much all we do is heavy equipment or anything oversized, overweight. What's what we specialize in, and that's pretty much all we do. Now we'll do anything that we can. Anything that pays the bills, but for the most part,
anything that pays the bills.
Well, not just anything. Anything that'll fit on the trailer, or we can make fit on the trailer.
We already heard about JT.
yeah, we already heard about JT, so we already know.
No, not anything, but anything trucking wise.
A couple guys and gals just picked up the phone and put it back down. So I see just a phase everywhere, Bubba.
Yes.
What do you mean is trucking just a phase?
Well, it would be just a phase of my life because it's really all my life. So just a phase, it got its name. My father was in trucking for about 46 years. So, and Dad never owned his own truck or nothing like that, but he always earned enough money to take care of us. We had a big family. There was 7 kids in the family, so he was always working. And so one particular day, back then we didn't have cell phones and all that stuff. Back in our day thing, that's what we kind of date
you
myself
look like
here.
you're 26 years old.
I am. I'm actually 23.
23.
So, yeah, 23.
We're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Okay, let's keep on going.
So one day, it was usually every day that Dad would call home. We knew roughly about what time he was going to call. So we would all kind of gather around the phone kind of thing. And there was times where when he would call, he wouldn't have a lot of money because it was always collect, how they used to pay collect back then. So he would just give his name and say collect from so-and-so, and you'd recognize his name, you knew it was okay. Then he would call the next day, and then that was the time you could talk to him. So we were all hovered around the phone. And I remember when he called, my mother was like, this boy of yours is driving me insane. It's truck everything, truck this, truck that. He's got trucks all over the floor. He's driving me insane. And so as she went to hand me the phone, he still thought he was talking to her, and I heard him say, honey, leave the boy alone. It's just a phase, he'll grow out of it.
Oh!
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
What's going on with the truckers? Welcome to the Asian My Show. We're here with the amazing, the legendary, everybody loves you, man, Bubba, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Man, good to see you. I got a chance to see Just a Phase out at Wildwood, but I didn't get a chance to talk to you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you were very busy that day.
Oh, you better stop with that. The first question I have before we even get to the build.
Yes, sir.
Is, you're going to hate me, but I call my girl, my love of my life, Bubba.
Oh, really?
Okay, so how did the name Bubba come along?
I don't really know. I've just been Bubba since I was young enough to remember. I mean, even through high school and football and everything, and even my nieces and nephews called me Uncle Bubba. I don't know. It just been ever since I can remember. I have no idea how it really came about. I guess maybe growing up in the South, every firstborn is usually a Bubba. So I don't really know.
We're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
The name became you.
Yes, it did. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's great, brother. So, we see this beautiful truck. Let's talk a little bit about the build.
Okay.
And then after the build, let's talk
sir.
about the man behind the build and really how you got into trucking, brother. That's all we're doing on this show.
Awesome.
So, walk us around.
Yes, sir. Well, it's a 1996 Kenworth W900. My wife and I and some really good friends of mine, Jeremy Williams, Dale Stripling, and my kids, they really helped me on this truck quite a few times, or quite a bit actually. We picked it up in New Jersey. I guess it's been about a year ago now. A gentleman by the name of Mike had it for sale up there. I saw it online. It was white at the time, and Mike had recently done a lot of stuff to it. He did a full platinum rebuild. It's got the 5EK cat in it, 18 speed, 355 rears on it. Wheelbase is 273. I just call it 275. It's just easier.
Yeah, let's round up. Let's round up.
You always want to round up. You don't want to downsize it.
Yeah, that's not downsize now. Come on now, Bubba.
So, so I went and picked it up early in 2020, right when all the mess was flowing really good. So I went and picked it up, brought it home, and immediately when I got it home, I realized there was quite a few issues with it that, and this is nothing against Mr. Mike. He was very truthful as could be, but I went through the whole thing, my wife and I, and our mechanic, Mr. Alex, who was absolutely one of the best guys on the face of the planet, and he helped me out a lot on this thing. But we started from the ground up. We did the front end. It's got an air ride by horse front end on it. Mr. Alex helped me put that on, and
let's walk around.
Yeah, and it's got a Roadworks 22-inch tapered bumper on it. Roadworks window chops, Talladega fiberglass visor, Roadworks steps here, Roadworks 8-inch cans on it, Roadworks chicken feeders, what we call them. There's 16 of these watermelon lights in these things, all glass, and man, are they heavy! Wow, they're heavy. The tanks are wrapped by Road Skins. Mr. Steve up there, give him credit for that because he's a really great guy. The T-bars and the fenders are from Talladega fiberglass as well. Everything's painted. I love the color red.
This
Anybody that knows
paint
me,
is wet, brother.
Yeah, it's popping. It's popping. The color is Viper Red, one of my favorite colors, obviously. A lot of my buddies tease me and say I've only got one crayon in my coloring box, so it's red. You know what I mean?
So this is your favorite color?
Absolutely, yeah, hands down. Yeah. Matt McCall's Paint and Body is the one that did the paint job for me back in, I think it was October, November of 2020. And we still got some things we're working on it. It's not perfect. We still got some things, some homemade things like the deck plates homemade. Real good friend of mine, Jesse Hall, out of Auburndale, helped me with this deck, with this back piece here. My welder, oh man, he's gonna be pissed
remember
at me.
his name.
Yeah, right.
I'm not gonna put you on it.
That's a rough go right there. Bronson. Damn
Okay,
it.
yeah.
You guys.
Okay, we'll redo it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna say redo, but
Yeah.
yeah, redo. I might just leave it. I ain't gonna redo this.
I love you, Bronson. I'm just kidding, man.
That was a good joke.
Bronson helped me out.
Where did he help you?
Bronson helped me out with these, man.
We gotta give him a little bit more shine.
Yeah, give him a little more credit.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, there you go. So, my goal for this truck was to simple, clean. I love the simple, clean look. I didn't want to take it too gaudy, and of course, I wanted to red everything that I could possibly think about to be red. Flipped the tank straps around, so painted the tank straps on the tanks and left the straps on the breathers stainless, which are also wrapped in stainless from Road Skins.
Well, we'll get more personal when we talk in the cab in a second.
Yes, sir.
But would you say your dad is one of your heroes?
My dad is he's definitely one of the guys that I've looked up to in the trucking industry for sure. I love him dearly. Because I was always got to go with him, and out of all of us kids, I was the only one that really wanted to go with him whenever he would go someplace short or if I was out of school or whatever. So I just always enjoyed what it was about, and everything that it brought. It gave him and I time together that we didn't get, with all the other kids at the house, stuff like that. So definitely one of the people that I always looked up to, though. Yeah.
I see people moving around.
Yeah, everyone, I know.
What the hell?
You gotta watch that guy right there, man. You gotta watch that motherfucker right there.
Hey, the fight is started.
He's rich, and he's crazy.
No, guess what? He don't wipe his butt with wet toilet paper. He wipe his butt with $100 bills.
Don't be listening to that.
Is that right?
Blow
Don't listen to that guy.
$100 bills?
Yeah. Hey, let me tell y'all a little story. Last week, me and JT was walking out of the grocery store last week, and JT's got a mansion over there on the other side of the state. Literally, it's a 100,000 square foot home. It's crazy, right? Big old white pillars and stuff like the White House. For the black man, it's crazy, right? So check this out. So he's walking out of the grocery store. He makes me carry the groceries, right? So I'm on his payroll. He pays me $50 a week to carry his groceries. So he's walking out of the grocery store, and this guy walks up and was talking to JT, and he actually said, JT. And JT had a white loaf of bread and smacked him right in the face with me and knocked the guy on the ground. And JT said, listen, next time you talk to me, honky, it better be Mr. in that.
Is that right?
That's right, man. That's a
Is
fact.
that who you are?
No.
Is that what's going on?
No.
Did he get that wrong?
And then he took a $100 bill, look out of his pocket, took a $100 bill and threw it on the guy's face.
He did?
Now wipe your tears up.
Oh,
yeah, he did.
JT.
He did.
This guy.
He's so rich.
This guy.
That's so rich.
We all better be glad he come from Florida off of his mansion he got down there in Florida. 1,000 acres.
Yeah, 1,000 acres?
1,000 acres. acres.
What kind of trucking you doing, man?
1,000 feet, maybe.
1,000 acres. His
1,000 feet of frontage. That's all I got. Right at Orange Grove, man. They just showed me sand. They didn't even show me land. They just showed me the sand. You know what I mean?
Oh man, oh man.
This guy could buy every truck out here,
Yeah.
not even better eye.
As long as I can buy it with bullshit.
If you guys don't know, this is JT Mercier. I'm
Great
telling
guy.
you, there's not a lot of guys that really make the industry better. There's a few here. Most of them have Peterbilts for some damn reason. These two right here.
Boy, I tell you, that's terrible. That's
That's
terrible.
the only thing I like about it because he drive a KW.
My friend, JT Mercier, right there. The richest guy I got in my. Well, there might be.
100,000 square feet. There it is.
That's the seat right there.
That's the seat.
That's where we do it.
So, you know, we talked about your build.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about the name of the truck. We talked a little bit about your upbringing with your dad and
Yes.
and just really good memories. We got a chance to catch up with JT
Yes.
and just show that trucking's still alive.
Family out here, man.
We just a family. So, you know, a lot of times people want to talk to you about your truck. And we at the Asian My Show, we like to know the person behind the truck. So we talked and you said you've been trucking for about 25 years.
Yep. All my life.
But let's talk about it.
Okay. Started off, working with Dad, doing things he was doing, which was, pulling flatbed, lot of flatbed work, steel, structural steel, stuff like that. And then shortly after that, I went to equipment and moving equipment, and that's where I've been ever since. Now, in the process of doing all that, I have done, for some friends, I've done some, some reefer trailers, stuff like that, but nothing for any length of time. I never really, if you ask a good friend of mine, Raymond Brown, he'll tell you a little story about a reefer load that a little reefer load of potatoes. I hope he sees this so he'll get a chuckle out of it. I lost a whole load of them thanks to me. So I mean, I've pretty much been in the industry all my life. It's all I've ever done. I don't really know anything else, to be honest with you. I love it. I love everything about it. To me, it's like I get paid to play with Tonka toys all day, in this deal. We have 7 drivers, 8 trucks, including this one, and that's pretty much all we do is heavy equipment or anything oversized, overweight. That's what we specialize in, and that's pretty much all we do. Now we'll do anything that we can. Anything that pays the bills, but for the most part,
Anything that pays the bills?
well,
Bubba?
not just anything. Anything that'll fit on the trailer, or we can make fit on the trailer.
We heard about JT.
yeah, we already heard about JT, so we already know.
No, not anything, but anything trucking wise.
A couple guys and gals just picked up the phone and put it back down. So we'll leave it at that.
Right.
But with that said, this is not a marketing thing.
Yes.
That's not what I do. But you said you have a fleet of 8 trucks.
Yes.
Now, what is your trucking company?
Atlas Heavy Haul.
Atlas Heavy Haul.
Yes, sir.
All KW, Bubba?
No, we actually have 2 KWs. We have I have 3 Peterbilts. Man, I'm like, 2 Peterbilts, 2 KWs, 1 Western Star, 1 Volvo, and 1 Chevrolet.
And 1 Chevrolet.
Yeah, 1 Chevrolet.
I like the end of that. I love that.
Yeah.
So, people say heavy haul is the cream of the crop, baby. So,
well, it's funny you say that because when I was a kid coming up, I use this analogy sometimes. It was like being like Top Gun. Like when you got in this seat doing what we do, you were the best of the best. You were Top Gun. You were. That's. I'm not saying that's what everybody saw it as, but that is a 10, 12-year-old kid watching my dad do it. That's what I felt it was. You had to have a certain amount of experience. You had to have a certain amount of guts behind you. You had to have a certain amount of balls, basically, to do what we do day in and day out, through the traffic and the city streets and all that stuff. Oversized, overweight, multiple axles. And that's kind of how we saw it. So as a kid, that's what I wanted to do, man. And I didn't want to do anything else. I remember in school getting laughed at, when they'd stand up and ask, what do you want to do for a living? Well, some kids say doctor, lawyer. Nah, I wanted to be a truck driver. So then they would laugh, oh man, this guy wants to be a truck driver. He's crazy. But they don't have the same passion and the love, and it would literally just run through my veins. There's nothing else I wanted to do different. you know. And so that was my motivation, was to just simply, I wanted to drive a truck, and I wanted to haul heavy equipment or just oversized stuff. That's what I wanted to do, and I wasn't going to take no for an answer.
I love it, brother. I love it. You know, any advice for people that want to be heavy haulers or do step deck and get into this realm?
Yes. First of all, step deck guys, stop pulling cheap freight. That's just a rib that the heavy haul guys and the step deck guys go back and forth. So no disrespect to those guys. They're all great people, and they all got to make a living. So, but if I had to give some advice to them, to get rolling with, just continue doing what you're doing. If you're on a step deck, you have the ability to go ahead and move, a lot of the smaller stuff and things like that. So take the knowledge that you learn from that, and literally it's the same. Most of the time it's the same stuff, it's just bigger. So it's it's more chains, more binders. It gets a little trickier when you get into the multiple axles, and then learning to axle the weights and all that stuff. But it's no different. It's just the only thing that changes is basically the scenery. So my advice would be to keep doing what you're doing and try to branch out, broaden your horizons. And if you're a company driver, like I was for many years, I suggest going to, a good place to get a start is like a lot of these rental companies. They'll bring you on sometimes. They'll bring you on, and you only have a year experience or so. They'll bring you on. They'll put you with somebody for a couple of days, and then you're moving. Say you're on a landall type trailer, so you're moving skid steers, mini excavators, or up to a 200 excavator, stuff like that. So then you learn on that little smaller stuff, and then you just carry it over to the bigger stuff. So as you go through your career, you got to try to maximize what you already have. Just maximize that, and your knowledge too. Maximize your knowledge as you go along, which will help you grow.
I love that. That's great advice. Now, for the ones that are owner operators and they want to build a fleet one day, you said yourself that you were a company driver. How many years were you a company driver?
Oh man, I'd say
out of the 25.
Oh man, let's see, probably 11.
11 of the years.
11 years, yeah, 11.
So
11 or 12.
If you would have known and watched this video, you might have done it a little bit early. What would have that advice have been to kick you in the butt to make you get it started, brother?
Save your money. Save your money. Save your money. Even when you get into truck, and you guys will tell you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love to put money into my trucks, and I love to put money into the rides for the guys, for my drivers, because all of my drivers every one of them are great people, super good people, hard workers, family men. They work every day. They're with me out here every single day. 60 to 70 hours a week, every single week. I love them like family, and that's the joy of working for a small company like us. So, and these guys, I talk to them, multiple times a day, weekends, and that's what I would say. Even if I was telling them, save your money. So if you're making a good living, and that's what you also got to weigh out too, versus a company driver. Versus, do you want the headaches to go along with it? The tires, the fuel, the drivers. Which I'm not saying anything bad about the drivers, but I'm just saying the multiple personalities that you got to deal with. You got to be able to manage all that stuff. It's like a melting pot. You have to be able to swing all that, plus handle your own. So not only, I always tell everybody, I'm not just feeding one family. I have to feed, and I'm responsible for 7 families. So I take that to heart. So if you're a company driver and you're looking to get on your own, do not let anybody tell you. No, first of all, do not let anybody tell you that you can't do it, because that's not true. You can do anything. You can do absolutely anything you set your mind to, and that's not just a cliche saying. It's true. It's how I really feel. I feel that in my heart. So don't let them tell you can't. They told me I couldn't either. And so, and I'm not telling you not to either. I'm just telling you, weigh it out. If you enjoy because sitting in this seat, there is no days off. The phone rings 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. I never shut it off. So if you enjoy your time where you're able to cut it off, then you probably don't want to do what I'm doing, because you can't cut it off. Because you turn it off and they call your phone, guess what they're going to do? And if you didn't answer, they're going to call someone that did answer the phone. It's just how it works. So and I mean, I'm not saying that there's not loyalty. There is, and all that stuff. But if a guy's got something he needs to be moved because it's his moneymaker, you don't answer the phone, he's going to find somebody to move it.
That's great advice. At the very end of this, any people in your life you want to shout out, brother?
I do. Oh man. Well, just a little backstory. So I had a very bad bout with COVID back in February, and I almost lost my life to it. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I was in ICU for 7 days. It was really bad. So coming through that, my wife. I hear a lot of people say, my ride or die, my chick, this woman is solid as a rock. I mean, she took the company over. She ran it the whole time I was in the hospital. I didn't do anything for 2 weeks other than try to live, and I was literally fighting for my life. So even when I got out of the hospital, Lord let me. I got to, He blessed me to be able to get out of the hospital. And as I was getting stronger each and every day, I was incapacitated for several weeks there. And she just took care of everything. The family. By the way, she still has a full-time job of her own. So just incredible to my wife. I love you, and I appreciate you more than I could ever put in words. And my kids, Colt, Alyssa, and Preston. I mean, we call him Little Bubba, but he's not so little. He's 22. My daughter's 18, and my son Colt's almost 9. And they have helped me in this truck build. And there's 2 friends of mine that I really, really, really would love to shout out to. Dale Stripling and Jeremy Williams. I love you both like brothers. Y'all been there for me. When I was sitting on the sidelines building this truck, the interior, I literally didn't have enough. I was on oxygen. I couldn't even barely walk. And those 2 guys were there with me the whole step of the way, including my wife, who did almost everything in this interior. So thankful to them, to all of them, and everyone else, my customers. I'm just grateful for your loyalty and your friendship over the years. So
I tell you, people, if you guys don't get a chance, man, check this man out. I have his descriptions to all his social medias. If you guys ever need advice, that's what we're here for. I appreciate you, Bubba.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for being on the show.
Yes, sir.
Great guy, Bubba.
Thank you.
Great guy.
Appreciate that.
Heck yeah.